In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Montegrappa Fortuna fountain pen. I'll go over the specs, I'll do a writing sample, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this pen coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, it really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. This is the Montegrappa Fortuna fountain pen in white with black ruthenium trim. I think it looks really sharp. This is actually the first Montegrappa pen I've ever owned. It's a brand that I've always kind of been interested in. They made some really nice sterling silver pens in the past. I couldn't afford them at the time they were producing those. And then they've, have a long sort of history of making very high-end kind of, I'll call them maybe like art pens. Really beautiful. I don't know how practical those pens are. But anyway, they make a more affordable line of pens, the Fortuna, and we have steel nib, plastic body, or resin as they call it. But very nice pens. On the expensive side for an affordable line, this pen retails for $290, which is pretty expensive. I bought this pen on ShopWarn for $55. At that price, I felt like it's worth going for, and I'm very happy that I did because I actually quite like this pen. Let's walk through it. So, starting with just the overall shape, it's a pretty modern looking shape. It's not like a typical torpedo shaped pen. We have flat ends at the top and the bottom, and then we kind of have this cap that bulges out in the middle and tapers down to a finer end here. The finial on this pen is brushed metal. Now, when you look at pictures of this pen online, you will see that it normally comes with a different finial than this. It will normally say 1912 and be quite a bit more ornate than this on top. I think it is still metal, but these ones that you get on ShopWarn, I inquired about them because I was like, oh, what's the deal? Why does this not have the right finial? And I asked Kenro, the distributor here in the United States, and they said, oh, we've never seen this pen before. Let's ask Montegrappa. And Montegrappa responded to them and said that these particular ones that ShopWarn got were intended for the Middle East market. So I don't know why they don't have that other finial, but anyway, if you look at pictures of this, get one of these from a normal retail channel, it'll say 1912 up here. It'll be a little bit nicer of a finial than this. Anyway, going on to the clip here, we have sort of this rather, I'll say, robust clip. It's quite a strong clip here. Kind of have a crease down the middle, and then we have a roller at the end in kind of typical Italian fashion. Very strong clip, looks quite nice. It's pretty well finished in my opinion. And then we have the brushed, quite large cap ring here with Montegrappa in script. Pretty nice. Doesn't say where it's made anywhere on the pen, on the paperwork, or the box, but I believe they're all made in Italy. Just going to the body here, it's a thick white resin. It feels quite nice. It doesn't feel like a cheap plastic pen. It has a good heft to it. I think it's quite a thick resin that they use on it. And the body here is pretty straight, very subtle taper towards the tail here. Okay, let's take the cap off. So interestingly, and you might be able to see, the color of this is slightly different than the body, and that's because this is a lacquered metal grip section. So it's actually cooler to the touch than the rest of the body and the cap. I quite like this. It feels really nice. You don't have any of the slipperiness that you might get with just a bare metal section, but I do like that it's cool to the touch, and it gives it a nice weight towards the nib of the pen. I think it works pretty well, and it's a pretty comfortable grip section. Good size, good length. There's not really any part where you can't hold it. And then we have very nice threads here in that black ruthenium finish. Looks really quite nice. Yeah. The quality of this pen is, I think, very good. Now we have the black Montegrappa nib here. This is a bock number 6 nib, and it has this very cool geometric pattern on it with the Montegrappa logo in the middle in script. Very good looking pen. Nib, rather. I quite like it. Standard Bock nib here. I believe it is threaded, so if you wanted to swap out the nib, you could. Okay. And this pen is a standard cartridge converter. I just have a red Kaweco cartridge in here, but it does come with a standard international cartridge, which says Montegrappa in here. And this one, interestingly, is threaded, so it does screw in to the section here. Looking at the inside of this pen, it's quite a thick resin barrel, and it feels pretty nice. It's a very solid feeling pen. Nothing flimsy about it. We have more of the black metal here. They just did a really good job with the fit and finish of this pen. And again, this is my first Montegrappa pen. This is the first quote-unquote affordable Montegrappa pen that I've really experienced, and I have to say I'm impressed with it. You know, $290 though, go for a pen with a gold nib. There's so many nice options out there. This definitely feels premium, but I think there's better value for money at that full retail price. Okay, let's do some measurements. This is a very nice full-sized pen. In terms of the length, we're maybe 137-ish. And again, it's flat top and bottom here. So just as a comparison, you know, here it is with a Mont Blanc 149, which is quite a big pen. And here it is next to an Aurora Optima. These are all full-size pens. This is technically an oversized pen. Big, comfortable size here. Uncapped, 125 millimeters. Posted, this isn't really a pen that I use posted because it does get a little top heavy, but you can do it relatively securely. Looks like about 163 posted. This grip section does have a very subtle taper to it. So we'll start at the very back right above the threads here, and we're looking at about 11.1. And then at the very front here, 10.4. So really, yeah, not even a millimeter of taper there. Very comfortable, I think. It works really nicely. I apologize for the condition of my hands. Now let's do the weight. 35.9 grams, pretty much. That's a pretty heavy pen. You know, compared to like an Aurora Optima, yeah. I mean, we're heavier than other full-size and oversized plastic pens. So it's got some heft to it. There's, you know, big metal cap ring and then the metal grip section all add to the weight of this pen. Uncapped, 22.6 grams. So I find that for me, I write with this pen uncapped, or unposted rather. I don't, you know, you can do it, but for me, I think it's more comfortable. There's enough weight here to just do it uncapped, especially if you're going to be writing for a longer period of time. But again, very comfortable pen. The writing sample. Now, I am doing this on my new line of notebooks, the papermind.com. This is a Mitsubishi bank paper notebook, and it's an excellent notebook. For Blake's Broadcast subscribers, I'm giving 10% off with code BB10, so definitely be sure to check that out. All right, let's do the writing sample. So this is a Montegrappa Fortuna, and this is a medium, and this is Kaweco red. Okay. Let's try fast writing. Okay, so I think we're noticing some skipping here. This B up here, that was me. But with fast writing, we do get skips. You know, for a medium, I do find this writes a little bit closer, in my opinion, to a fine. As a comparison here, I have a Aurora Talentum with a fine flexi nib, and I always find that for a European or Western nib, Auroras tend to be finer, and their fine is basically very, very close in width to this Montegrappa medium. And the skipping, we see that it is a little bit of a drier nib. I've actually really liked writing with this pen. It writes very nicely, very smoothly. In normal writing conditions, I have no problems with skipping or anything like that. It's a very enjoyable pen. In terms of reverse writing, it does work pretty well. You do get a noticeably thinner line, and it's very smooth actually. I'm kind of amazed by how smooth this is. This is maybe one of the smoothest reverse writers I've come across. Very good. Okay, now, in terms of flexibility, not really. It's pretty much a nail, to be honest. Well, that's pretty much it. So what are my pros and cons for the Montegrappa Fortuna fountain pen? The biggest pro for me is the high quality feel of the body. I really like the thick resin body with the white lacquer metal section. It has a very nice premium feel to it. I like the white with the sort of black ruthenium trim. I think that looks really nice, something a little bit different than normal. I like the shape of this pen. I think it's a little bit different than the typical torpedo shape, and I think it has a nice modern look to it. It's also a very nice, comfortable, full-sized pen, very easy to write with for long writing sessions. The performance of the bock nib is very good. It's number 6 nib, nice size nib. Everything, proportionally on this pen looks really correct and nice to my eye. Now, in terms of cons, the biggest con, and really my main con, is the price, the retail price anyway, $290. That's a lot of money for basically just a plastic pen with a steel nib. It does have more of a premium feel than your average pen, but at $290, you're way into gold nib territory, and there are just so many other pens in that price range that I would pick over this at that retail price. Now, I paid $55 for this, and at that price, I'm very happy with this pen. It is an excellent pen for $55. That is pretty much it. Do you guys have this pen? Do you like this pen? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much, and until next time.